Well, hello everyone. Just having a few computer issues here, trying to get everything organized. There we go. Okay, good afternoon here in Medicine Hat, Alberta, Canada. That's where I'm coming in from. If we have not met before, my name is Heather Edmondson, and like I said, I'm coming at you on a Saturday afternoon here in Western Canada. And I'd like to ask you about some of your fears that might be crippling you. So grab yourself a cup of coffee, come and sit down, and let's have a chat. And so let's get on top of this little conversation here. Are you willing to crush some self-doubt or overwhelm with your fears? I'm going to go into about 2 or 3 here little suggestions that maybe will work for you, and I'm trying to implement them myself in my goals. Do you have the confidence to show up in your business? Is that kind of one thing that's kind of holding you back and you're fearful? I never believed in a million years that I would be able to push the Go Live button on here and actually get on here and speak with people and talk. I'm getting a little emotional. What the heck? What's the heck with that? I guess I need another sip of coffee. Not enough coffee here on a Saturday morning. So I thought I'd jump on here quick and get some of this talk with you about before I get busy with all the chores that I have to do on a Saturday. So the very first time that you ever tried to do something, were you good at it? Like, for example, starting a new job, the first time you tried to play an instrument, first time you tried to skate or swim or start a new job, were you right away good at it? Of course not. So you have to give yourself the chance to absorb some of the information that you're being taught, and then you have to practice it and go over and over and over again. And that's how you developed to become better and better at it. So that's another reason why I'm participating in this day 3 of the 21-day Go Live video challenge, again with Helen Martin. I have done, this has been my 4th time doing these. So I'm getting better and better each time I do try them. I'm learning new skills. She's showing us new stuff. And if you jump in and join us, you can start at any time. You will also gain skills and enjoy doing them and going live and stuff. So like I said, an example of something that you might not have been good at the very first time you did it was, my grandson was really frustrated because he's been watching since he was a baby, hockey on television, and he just figured that he could jump on the ice and skate like Connor McDavid. And the very first time our son and daughter-in-law took him skating, of course, he couldn't hardly stand up on his skates. And so then he just laid on the ice and cried that he couldn't skate like Daddy or like Connor McDavid or any of the other hockey players that he had watched. So then we tried to find some video of when our kids had started skating when they were little, and show them that everybody starts out somewhere and they have to do it a little bit every day, or, to practice and over and over and over to become as good as these hockey players or whatever sport it is you do, or like becoming an online entrepreneur, learning the skills from mentors and learning those skills and then teaching them so that you will get them embedded in your brain to move forward in your business. So like, for example, for myself, I went back and recertified my lifeguards after I had my children so that I could help support and gain some income into the family and stuff. And that was hard because I didn't think that my brain could work after having kids, because I was scatterbrained and all over the place. Or even like this, doing and learning online business stuff to promote my business. I mean, it's a whole new skill. It's like learning a different language. It's you start at ground zero and then you work your way up. You have to learn these skills to get better at anything. Like I said, at any kind of thing, whether it be a sport or a job or a hobby or anything like that. You can't just all of a sudden pick up knitting needles and know how to knit, or whatever it is that you do, or be really good in your garden or ride a bike, anything like that. You can't just automatically do that unless you're a very, very gifted person. You have to learn the skills. So we're talking about fears crippling you. So it gets in your brain and you start going round and round in circles in your brain. Then maybe you're fearful of, like I said, going live on here, or your very first relationship, or a new job, or maybe your first job as a teenager. How about the first time you are going to move away from home, or Maybe it was the first time you went to summer camp away from your family and you don't have the support of your family. Like you feel these butterflies in your stomach, you feel these, you almost feel sick to your stomach, you get headaches, you get your hands start to sweat, you start to shake and shiver, and then all of a sudden you start spinning around in your brain, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. I can't ever get up in front of people and speak. I can't go to this camp. I can't do this job. I can't, whatever. That by the time all of these feelings happen in your belly and in like sweating or whatever, by the time those things start happening, then it starts to move to your brain, and then you talk yourself out of doing whatever it is. So you can, number one, you can choose or decide, which are two different words with two different meanings. You can choose to stay where you're at and wallow in your self-pity and your self-doubt and never move forward and stay at the same level for the rest of your life and just be a robot and keep moving on through life just on automatic, on autopilot. Or you can sit down and you can decide to do something about it. You can decide to take that leap of faith, take the bull by the horns and jump in with both feet and all of your emotions and your whole self and go for it. You can decide to stay in that self-pity or self-doubt, or you can move forward, but it's what you choose. If you choose to stay in that self-pity or self-doubt, you'll stay on that even keel. If you decide to take that leap of faith and do something about it, it's going to create a mind shift in your head. If you keep telling yourself that you're going to get there, you're going to make that goal, you're going to take that jump, it's going to create that mind shift. And you're going to decide to make that happen. And by deciding to make that happen, you can create little goals along the way. You can have a start date and an end date. Like say for the whole year of 2020. 2020, I'm going to do this, 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 and this, and it's going to get me towards the end goal in December of 2020, for example. Maybe not in your case, but in my case, I've set out a monthly goal, a weekly goal, etc. for the whole month. And every time I get to one of those goals, you have to celebrate each one of those goals. And it doesn't have to be with drinking. It doesn't have to be with food. Maybe it could be going to a movie with your significant other. Maybe it could be spending a day with your kids or your grandkids, doing something fun, going to the beach. Not right now in Canada because it's wintertime. Maybe it's going skiing. Maybe it's going skating. We're going to go skating this afternoon after supper with our grandkids and some other members of our family. So celebrate even if it's the littlest thing. Make those celebrations so that when you're working towards your goal and you reach your goal, then you can have a really big celebration. And like I said, it doesn't have to be with food or drinks or whatever. It can be something totally different. You don't have to derail yourself on whatever your goals are. But yeah, set those goals, make a roadmap, make little steps along the way, and stop and celebrate those mini things. It's back to that example of how does anybody eat an elephant? They eat it one bite at a time. You can't look at the big picture and get overwhelmed by, oh my God, I'm never going to ever get to be able to go on a Go Live. I'm never going to get to be able to stand up in front of a crowd of 3,000 people and talk about, oh, I got glare shining in there from the front door, sorry. Talk about whatever it is that you're talking about. You know, I would never have believed that I would ever have done this. So that was your number one goal. You can choose or decide. So the two different words. And number two, sometimes we need a little bit of help to get towards whatever our goal is. Sometimes we need to reach out and learn new skills and practice them and gain the knowledge that will help lead you towards your goal. So a way of doing that for number two is reaching out to a mentor. Maybe you have to invest in a little bit of training or mentoring. I'm just going to take a sip of coffee. My throat was getting a little dry there. Sorry about that. With the mentoring, it can send you in the right direction. They can maybe lead you to the right mindset that you need to reach to go forward towards those goals. So that'll help get you over that hurdle of a fear. Create some accountability. Create a group to whatever it is. Maybe you want to get up and exercise every morning at 5 o'clock in the morning. Have a buddy. Get them to text you in the morning at 5. Set an alarm. drag your spouse out of bed, get them to exercise with you, have some accountability to yourself. Say, I really want to do this, and say that over and over again in the morning when you get up, and then evening before you go to bed. I believe I can do this. I believe I can get this done. So accountability. And then if you learn some of these skills from your mentor, you can't just keep them in a book. You can't just leave them sitting on the table or on the desk or whatever. You can't just put them in a binder and put them on the shelf. You have to implement the skills that you're learning. You have to do something with them. You can't just let them sit there, because you're learning all this knowledge and you're not sharing it and you're not doing anything with it. So it's not benefiting you or anybody else. Be that advocate for yourself. That self-doubt will creep in, that fear will creep in. You need to surround yourself with like-minded people who are also maybe moving towards a goal, and maybe they can share some of the doubt or the problems that they're going with. Maybe they can share some of the hurdles that they are trying to get over, and maybe they can help you, and you can help them with some of your ideas and suggestions that you are working with. Like I said, working with the mentor, accountability group, implementing those goals, and surrounding yourself with those like-minded people, the mentor, the teacher. So ask for some assistance, even if it's just a pep talk from a really good friend. I was struggling a couple weeks ago, and I had one of the other people in this group that I met through doing some stuff with Helen Martin online, and she called me up on the computer and talked to me and put me in a whole different mindset, and I was able to move on with my day. I was feeling sorry for myself. I was just like, oh, I can't do this. I don't know. And I started to cry, and she called me up and got my mind in a different way. So thank you very much, Susan Marie Hagel, for doing that. If there's anybody in this group that also needs help, or anybody out there, give me a shout, and I will hopefully be a mentor for you and can help you move in the right direction. So if nobody has told you today that they believe in you, I believe in you, and I believe that you can get this done, and I believe that you can get towards whatever goal it is that you are working towards. So thank you very much for tuning in and listening to me today, and sharing a coffee with me if that's what you were doing. And I hope to see you soon, day 4 tomorrow. So thanks again very much. Bye-bye.